Bring, bring. Yeah, excuse me. Is this Mr. Ilia Topuria? Yeah, dog, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor. Alexander Volkanovski, he's one of the fan favorites. I'm gonna need you to get the hell up out of the featherweight division. Yeah, go follow Max Holloway, go pester him around, go pester all them around. We want Volk as champ again, dog.
¿Es posible que hayamos visto ya tu último combate de peso pluma? Sí, seguro. Seguramente que sí. ¿Te pasas al peso ligero?
So Ilia Topuria just went on a podcast recently and dropped some, crazy out of left field type of news that just has the MMA world buzzing, talking, and just kind of debating and all sorts of different things going on. So I want to discuss why Ilia is in the headlines and talk about, with you guys and break this down because this is crazy. Ilia Topuria says basically, look, you probably saw me for the last time at featherweight. I'm done with featherweight. I really will probably just vacate the belt here. I want to move up to 155 pounds, and I want to take on Charles Oliveira and basically for a number one contender fight. I know Islam Makhachev is busy taking on Arman Sarukian. Give me Do Bronx. I want to move up. I want to take his ass on, and I want to put myself in a position to fight for the lightweight strap. Now, this is crazy, right? So how did we get here, right? So I want to get my thoughts on this. I want to tell you why I think Ilia Topuria is doing this. And he also mentioned he's 27 years of age now, and he wants to be out of the fight game by the time he's 30. So the clock is ticking, right? If that's the timeline that he's on, it's not. We don't have much time left with Ilia Topuria. And before, I thought he said 32. So now that's 2 years shaved off since going out there and KOing Max Holloway at UFC 308. But really, this is crazy news, right? So last night, my phone's blowing up. I got friends, family, fans of the channel. Everyone's like, dude, you got to check social media. You got to see what Ilia Topuria just said. And I got on there and I'm like, Charles Oliveira, Ilia Topuria? That fight's batshit crazy. Sign me up. Where's the event? Where's the event taking place? I'll be waiting out there today. I'm so excited. Like, that is a great matchup, but we got to pump the brakes because it's very strange, right, that Ilia Topuria would just come out and start talking like this. And one of the big things that I think we need to make sure that we highlight is because this was done in Spanish, there's going to be some things that I think get lost and some details that get missed. But luckily, I have some fans that are Spanish and they are fans of Ilia Topuria, and I follow them. So they've cited the sources, and they're basically saying, look, Ilia Topuria mentions that, the weight cut's becoming an issue. And for me, that's not a surprise to me. Ilia Topuria, he fought against Jai Herbert at 155 pounds over in the UK. And not only that, this is a big dude, right? Every time you see Ilia Topuria get in there, I know he's not the tallest guy, but he's a stout guy, right? He's a pretty big dude. So to hear that the 145-pound cut is becoming an issue, I'm not surprised by this, right? He goes in there against Volkanovski. He's basically the same size as Volk. Maybe Volk's a little bit bigger. Maybe Ilia is a little bit bigger. I'd have to go back and look at it. That doesn't surprise me, right? So that is definitely a factor whenever you hear the fighter say, look, the weight cut's getting tough. I'm having a hard time doing this. And when the money starts rolling in, the fame starts coming in, things tend to change. We've seen this with guys like Conor McGregor. We've seen where fighters don't want to cut weight like they used to back in the day. We saw it with Jorge Masvidal. We saw it with Nate Diaz. When the money and the fame starts rolling in, could they maybe make 155? Sure, they probably could. But it's like, I'm a name. Everyone's going to tune in and watch me fight no matter where I am. I think that is where Ilia Topuria's mindset is at right now. And then, like I said, he wants to go on and take Islam. He wants to fight for a number one contender against Charles Oliveira. And what I love about this call out, it's not like he's asking for some clown, in the lightweight division or someone that's just like, I'll just go up there and fight somebody. He's like, give me Charles Oliveira. Give me one of the biggest names in the sport, not just in the lightweight division. A guy that just went out there and absolutely dominated Michael Chandler and just showed levels. He's like, that's one of the biggest names and one of the hardest guys to fight. Give me that matchup, which to me, that's a crazy fight. I think Topuria would beat him, but that's a crazy matchup. And then again, we have this timeline here where he's like, I'm 27, I want to be out by I'm 30. So that tells me everything we need to know about the headspace of Ilia Topuria right now. And for me, this is all about legacy. This is all about legacy at this point for Ilia Topuria. He is completely checked out of the featherweight division. And I know people are going to say, he's ducking Mobsar, he's ducking this, he's ducking that. I don't really think he's ducking anybody. I really don't. And I know Mobsar Evloev is kind of a hard stylistic matchup for Ilia, considering he does have very good wrestling. But who the hell is Mobsar finishing? He's not finishing anybody, right? So as much as I like Mobsar, I don't think Ilia is running from the guy. I think it's a hard matchup for him. I think that this is all about business from Ilia Topuria moving forward. And the issue that I'm going to have, guys, is I've been driving the train. I've been going choo-choo ever since Topuria got to the UFC. This was a guy that prior to, coming over to the organization, he was a submission ace. He's out there subbing everybody. And then he comes to the UFC, and he's basically been like the Canelo of MMA. He's got this nasty, boxing style. He's so technical. And what I mean by nasty is just gritty and perfectly technical. And he's just filthy when it comes to the overall skill set. And since he's came to the UFC, he's just knocking everybody the hell out. He's going out there, picking people apart, knocking out our favorite damn fighters, guys that are fan favorites. And he's basically turned himself into this villain, right? He's like, I'll go up there and take Charles Oliveira out, and then everyone's going to hate him even more because it's like, you knocked out Volk, you knocked out Holloway, and then if you could knock out Oliveira, fuck this guy, man. He's knocking out our favorite fighters. Like, so that is, I think, part of the, I don't want to say gimmick, but part of what Ilia is going for here. But for me, this is a lack of motivation, right? And that's something that he even hinted at in going up divisions. He's like, look, I've done it all so far at featherweight, right? I haven't fought a ton of guys and defended my title numerous times, but I just took out Alexander Volkanovski to win the title. Not just one of the greatest featherweights of all time, one of the greatest fighters of all time. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to defend the title. Give me the second biggest name that we got in the sport in terms of the featherweight division and, just pound for pound, one of the best fighters that we've seen as well, and Max Bliss Holloway, and another fan favorite. So he's like, let me just piss the fan base off by being the first one to KO Max Holloway. I sat up here and I said, guys, this is a horrible idea for Max to go to 45 and fight this guy again. And Ilia goes out there, knocks his ass out, and he's basically like, look, I got no more motivation. I just went out there and took these two dudes out. Who else is there for me, right? I'm going to fight these up-and-coming contenders. But if he's like, look, I want to be out by the time I'm 30. He's making a shitload of money, I'm sure, right now. He's got crazy amounts of sponsorships, I think. He's got, he's the champion. He's got, just crazy star power. This guy's a massive star over in Spain, guys. Like, whether you like Ilia Topuria or not, I even before he KO'd Max Holloway was like, this reminds me of a prime McGregor back in the day when he bursted onto the scene, was talking a big game, going in there and backing it up, and just delivering, right? He's like, I'm going to knock this guy out. I'm going to be the first guy to knock out Holloway. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to make it look easy against Volk. I'm going to knock his ass out. And people are either like, yeah, I think he's going to do it, or like, yeah, I'm sure, buddy. I can't wait to watch you lose. And he goes in there and he's done everything he said, right? Everything that he said he's going to do, he has went in there and done that. And when you do that, and when you talk the talk and you walk the walk, you're going to get places. And I said before, if he KO'd Max Holloway, we were going to see a very different approach moving forward from Ilia Topuria, because those are two massive legacy fights, and the motivation is no longer there at featherweight. And to be honest, you could sit there and criticize. You could say, oh, he should fight Mobsar, he should fight Diego Lopez. He's thinking of it like, look, I'm a fighter. Fighters, being in the fight game, it's a dangerous thing, right? He's got a family going on. He's making a bunch of money. He's like, look, I don't want to bash my brain in for forever. I want to get the hell out of here. I want to make a bunch of money, get fame, have all this stuff. I don't have to work again. Just use my name. The hell am I going to stick around and fight all these young up-and-coming guys and possibly risk it, right? And I do think that Topuria recognizes that there's risk. He knows Mobsar is a tough matchup. I don't think that I would pick Mobsar. I've said before, I don't think I'm ever picking against Ilia Topuria in terms of his fighting career. I mean, this dude is a spectacular fighter. I've been saying it since he first came over. And, he's dangerous, right? And I think he recognizes that there are some tough challengers in the featherweight division. But say if he goes out there and beats Mobsar, do people care? No, they're going to be like, he was a decision machine. He doesn't finish anybody. Who cares? If he goes out there and beats Diego, okay, so he beat the next up-and-coming guy. That doesn't do anything for the legacy. And I know that this is going to piss people off. I'm just telling you what I see here from Ilia Topuria. And I do believe the weight cut is a factor. I really do believe that. But I also think you're 27 years old, right? Those are kind of your prime years to really be draining the weight. And you can kind of get away with that stuff when you're younger. And when you get older, your body starts to kind of reject the weight cut. So to me, this is very clear. This is all about legacy. And the problem that I'm going to have, guys, is people are going to criticize this. They're going to talk a lot of shit about this. They're going to say he's ducking, he's this, is that. He's not ducking anything, right? This is just, he recognizes some danger. So maybe you could say, okay, he's avoiding some things. This is all about legacy. And, Conor McGregor's out here going, Here's the truth that will hurt all the little wannabe nobodies. Fighting was too easy for me. I've done it all by 27 years old. So all the news comes out about Topuria, typical McGregor fashion. He's like, I need to get my name in the headlines. I need to say something fucking stupid, something dumb. I mean, I can't stand Conor McGregor, guys, in case you can't tell. And yeah, I mean, he did a lot by the time he was 27. How many title defenses does Conor McGregor have? Boom. 0. He's got 0. How many does Ilia Topuria have? 1. He at least has 1. He at least defended the title. And now he's asking to move up, and he's not even asking to go in there and fight for a title right away. He's like, just give me the number 1 contender. I'll go in there and show you how good I am. How can you not like that? Right? I mean, and him versus Oliveira is an incredible fight, which we could discuss that a little bit more here. But for me, this is all about legacy. The motivation is gone at 45. And this guy wants to go up to lightweight, and he wants to try to run through the division as quick as possible. Hell, if he can do that, he may even try to go up to 70 and try to do something crazy. So people are going to criticize this because they don't like Ilia Topuria. They don't like him for whatever reason. And I've said before, you can dislike Ilia. You can't deny that this guy doesn't make it interesting, right? He's one of the guys that when he fights now, you tune in because he goes in there and backs up what he says. He's KOing Max Holloway. No one's done that. He made it look easy against Max Holloway. Goes in there against Volk, made it look easy. He's been absolutely spectacular. Put on a clinic against Josh Emmett. So this guy, for me, this is all about legacy. That's all that this is. That this is at this point. And he's going to want to cherry pick fun fights. It's exactly, I guess, what John Jones is trying to do. Now, again, Topuria, he's not exactly maybe in the same category as John Jones, but you could argue that he is. I think Ilia Topuria is already one of the greatest featherweights of all time, if not the greatest, off of having 1 title win and 1 title defense. Who goes in there and beats Volk like that? I mean, Islam did, right, which was up a weight class, but who does that? And then goes in there and KOs Max? Who does that, man? This guy's spectacular. Him calling out Charles Oliveira, and he's like, hell, if I need to vacate the title, then I'll do it. I just want to go up to 55. And to me, a fight between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira, I mean, like I said, sign me up. Where do I have to sign? I'll be waiting outside the arena today if it's in 5 months. I'll set up a tent and I'll be camping out, dog. I'll be filming content out there. That is a crazy matchup. And I think Topuria wins. I think Topuria wins because one of the things that we've seen from Ilia is a guy that fights like him, that power translates, right? And I know that he fought Jai Herbert at 155 pounds, and people are like, oh, well, you know, I think it was supposed to be 45 and all this and that. Ilia's style translates from 45 to 55 and possibly even 70. I'm not going to go too far here and go way over the hill, but I do think that there's a chance, right? This is a big, stout dude. And I think that at this point for Ilia, he's chasing legacy and he is chasing GOAT status because I think he looks at it and goes, who else you got from me that's going to do anything for my resume at 45? Right? This is exactly kind of, I think, what is going on with John Jones. Now, I think it's a little bit different because if there was an interim champion at 45, I think Ilia should fight that guy, right? And there are some contenders. I'm just telling you what he's going off of here. But this is a crazy fight. Oliveira versus Topuria. It's absolutely crazy because Charles Oliveira, he's one of the fan favorites, outstanding Muay Thai, dangerous submissions. His wrestling has improved. He's a great fighter. He's big. I think that he would be a little bit bigger than Topuria. But when it comes to power, when it comes to the boxing, when it comes to a nasty calf kick that he utilizes to neutralize his opponents and make you a stationary target to where he can close you down and then just beat the brakes off of you with the boxing, I think that he absolutely can beat Charles Oliveira because Oliveira gets hit. He's a tough guy. He's got good submissions. Topuria's got very good grappling as well. And I know people talk about how Bryce Mitchell took him down in some of this. Bryce Mitchell's a pretty good grappler. I'm not saying he's as good as Oliveira or anything, but Bryce Mitchell's not a scrub, right? He's got some pretty decent grappling. And I think Topuria underestimated him, to be quite honest with you. But to me, this is all about legacy at this point. Topuria's looking around. He's saying, look, I want to get the hell out of the fight game. I got a family. I got this. I got that. I'm using fighting to elevate my status as a famous person, basically, and I want to get the hell up out of here. So to me, all about legacy, all about chasing GOAT status, and then there's even this right here where Charles Oliveira about a month ago says, Ilia's a tough fighter, someone who talks the talk, walks the walk. I can see why he would want to challenge people, but I think you have to be very careful when you're coming up to lightweight because this is a very tough division. So again, Ilia Topuria, not shying away from the challenge, not shying away from trying to do some things that maybe we haven't seen. I mean, we have seen guys go up different weight classes, but people back then, they didn't really have a problem with Conor going from 45, not even defending the title, going up fighting Eddie Alvarez, and then dipping the hell away, vacating the belt. Topuria wants to be active. He's just chasing legacy, chasing GOAT status. I think it's possible if he could go up to 55 and kind of figure it out and rack up some wins. Because if he goes up there, beats Oliveira, and then he's the number one contender, him versus Islam Makhachev, assuming Islam can get through Arman, massive fight. I think Makhachev versus Topuria, one of the biggest and best stylistic matchups that the UFC could put together. But I want to hear from you all down in the comments. Like this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on Topuria deciding to move up to lightweight. Do you think he's ducking? Do you think that he's just basically chasing legacy at this point? Because to me, I think this is very exciting. I like a guy who's hungry, wants tough challenges, wants to go out there and do crazy things that kind of draw you in, because there's no question this guy's an absolute star. He's got the style, he's got the swag, he's the full package. You know, it reminds me of McGregor back in the day. He's doing all the correct things. This is big from Topuria, man. This is big from Topuria. Kind of unexpected. Like, I knew he was possibly going to go up to lightweight, and maybe I thought it was going to be a double champ versus champ fight, where it was going to be him with his belt going up and fighting, you know, Islam or whoever's the lightweight champion, which I would assume it would be Islam. But he says, nah, I'm not chasing a double champ fight. If they're not going to give it to me, I'll just vacate the damn belt, move up a division, and come hunt Islam down that way. And man, what a crazy fight that would be between those two. So let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you do not miss an upload. I appreciate you all. See you next time.